There we go, you can actually hear me now. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're going to be doing today G2 Fnatic, the series in its entirety. The season finals, grand final. Feels weird saying finals twice in a row, but hey, it is what it is. I'm ready. Hope you guys are ready for what's probably going to be an interestingly long series for you guys. And yeah, G2 start the series on blue. We got Fnatic on red. I'm really looking forward to this one because it's been forever, and I literally mean forever, since we had a G2 Fnatic final. So having it here, probably on the biggest LEC stage ever, is a nice thing. And, you know, draft for this series should be very interesting, especially from G2's side of things. And kicking it off, Ivan Banoff from Fnatic, kind of the big thing. Rel's up. You've got things like Kaiser, also high priority. But teams that face off against G2 tend to ban a lot of ADCs, because Hans Sammer has what could be arguably one of the widest pools, but also probably one of the shallowest of meta picks, which is kind of surprising, all things considered. But the bans come through, Rel left up, so it's first pickable. Maokai, however, is up as well for Fnatic, so they might end up going for that themselves. And then you probably lock in a Wonder, a blind pick top, so Renekton also up. You probably see that come through. However, G2 probably will flex to the Kled if they want to just dominate topside and play through Broken Blade, because they've done it throughout the entirety of playoffs, is just play Kled, and it's unbeatable in terms of what they want to do. You've then also got the option for matching Renekton with a Cassante, as it just has a sustain to kind of whittle down the Renekton with the Qs. I forget the name of it. It's such an awkward ability to remember the name for. But hey, it is what it is. G2 get themselves the Azir in their second rotation versus Fnatic's Maokai. Renekton kind of expected there. You get a lot of area control and a safe-ish top lane, because Wonder can outplay very easily with Renekton. We've seen him do it throughout the 2 series now that he's played. This is his third for Fnatic, and he's had a lot of games to get ready and going for this grand finals. Now, the last few picks, Cassante for G2 versus the Syndra for Fnatic, and we've kind of got a sort of match across the board of top laners locked in, mid laners locked in. I can't really say it's a match of junglers, because Rel, such a big flex pick, could honestly go down to Mickey, or it could stay in Yike's hand. Now, second ban phase, ADC's still not locked in. G2 going to take away safety in Desire, and Fnatic taking away the ruthless aggression that Hans could bring with the Draven. You've got what other picks? Aphelios is left open, that's sort of Noah's go-to. Ezreal is technically open as well. Braum going to be removed from Fnatic. Side don't want to allow that Cogmore Braum combination. Obviously, G2 synonymous with that now after a very potent run through group stage with it. I didn't mean to open my lead client. There we go. Yeah, anyway. Bans are finally done. Nautilus going to be removed off the field by G2. That's a lot of engage gone as well. You think the Maokai routes people with the Nature's Grasp into a Scatter of the Weak, into a Naught Hook. You've got a lot of lock up if Fnatic got that. Instead, they're going to lock in the save Aphelios for Noah. He's known for it. Makes sense to lock it in for the Fnatic lineup. As for G2, well, I like how they've attacked draft here. Kaiser obviously up and available. Probably going to go for the more AD build. It's something Hans Sammer does kind of go towards more the AD build, the Kraken Slayer into Rageblade. It's a very potent combination. Not many people have been able to match it. Leona's up and available. Rakan also up and available. So Mickey gonna get that one for himself. Fnatic side of things, you gotta be looking for your support here. I mean, Lissandra, if you want to be like Mickey, still a good pick. Leona also a good pick into the Rakan. I'm pretty sure we won't see the covers coming through right now, but I think something that has engage would go well with what Fnatic have, and that's actually a good pick. The Alistar provides a bit of appeal for the Aphelios, but in my opinion, the Fnatic draft right now very reliant on Humanoid getting off to a good start. You need the AP threat that the Syndra will provide to basically look for the targets that get knocked up by the Alistar, rooted by the Maokai. You need her to be able to unleash the power onto maybe the Kaiser if she gets caught. Definitely the Rakan if he comes anywhere charging towards you. You basically need Humanoid to have a good game here in order to set up Noah and get him to a very strong carry position. Now G2, personally, that's a team. Wait, why are they showing Teemo on Ari, Ashe, and Mordekaiser? They're not the picks. What? Unless it's spelling something, but I'm pretty sure that's just random champs. Weird. Anyway, we're getting into game one. What can we realistically expect? Well, personally, I think that G2's draft want to go in. They've got a lot of engage. I think there's a lot more disengage, though. However, on Fnatic's side, with how they've drafted, I also think they want to look for more pick-esque plays. But hey, we get into Summer Drift. How do we expect the team to start? Well, I think that we'll see Maokai start probably top side, into a rep down to bot, and Yike, who's on the rel, probably match it, to be honest. Stomp red, go up top. I think with how Fnatic played against who was it? Wonder's first series, how they played against BDS, wasn't it? Yes. Against BDS. Essentially, what they did, well, BDS did, they tried to negate Wonder's effect in the game, but they didn't fully push and commit to it. I think how G2 will attack this, they'll probably have Yike path up top, go for a play to kind of keep Broken Blade in an advantageous spot. Because if the K'Sante is able to play game and get an advantage for himself, it becomes very hard for Renekton to play, as we're actually seeing Razork invade early, level 1, looking to split the map possibly here. And that's kind of good for Fnatic. You kind of get Noah and Trimby in a safe place to scale. However, G2 are going aggressive onto the Alistar chunking him to about half HP, slightly more. And they get the push in already. This is actually beneficial for Fnatic because Razork can go for a gank. G2 are pushed quite far forward. But level 1 Alistar, not got the ability to go in for an engage. Obviously, you'd only have the headbutt or just the pulverize. Good dodge there by Hands, but he is knocked into the air. Ignited, ticking, not going to die instead. First blood to G2. Follow-up coming out from Yike. Crashdown going to be flashed away. That was a misplay and a half from Fnatic. Top side. In isolation, Broken Blade getting a favourable trade. He is down in gold, however, to the Renekton. Barely, though. As Rakan going forward, trading into Noah. Just trying to keep him back under tower. Allow the wave to crash. We watch this again. Hand Summer would be dead if the Q landed. Simple as that. Also, the Aphelios Q went wide. Mid. Slide, glide, divide. Boom. Humanoid down. Clean, free and easy gank. Let's be honest, that bot play kind of puts Fnatic on a bad foot. You think we were saying we wanted to get Noah into an advantageous place after investing into Humanoid to get him free and onto the map. Right now, G2 doing a lot of work. Yike gets a really clean path into this mid lane. Just remounts, charges forward to the E, locks in place with a Q, and then it's just auto attack City. The ward does not spot him because he... Let's be honest, I believe Cavs would have told him, hey, they know that Humanoid's path down to this river, probably place a ward close to here. So, just play safe, don't go greedy straight through mid and then burn summoners and not get a kill. Path around the ward, avoid its vision, and then easy play. G2 playing the early game quite well here. 2 kills up. It's roughly 800 gold in the lead for themselves. Bot lane constantly being pushed in by them. And you know, I'm slightly surprised by Noah's build here on the Aphelios. You expect Fnatic to scale and try and play for later, because a lot of what G2 are drafted falls off the later into the game it goes, compared to how Fnatic have drafted. I would have honestly thought he may have gone for the cull. That would allow him to essentially get free and easy gold into his back pocket and just scale quite easily. Not have to be as aggressive as that's a Gravitum gonna root up Mickey, just battle dances away to safety. Top side, only place where Fnatic have an advantage. Wonder getting a lot of pressure. Q3 gonna be dodged out with the slice. No dice. I hear a really loud noise and it's not very nice in my ears. Give me a second. There we go. I can no longer hear it. Anyway, let's go to this bot play. What actually happens? So, Hans shows up. It's just a W forward, knocks them both in the air. Trimby's already very low. He just gets killed off. ADC versus ADC. Hans is getting chunked quite low. Gets a heal though from Rakan. So he gets to stay around. Noah, red-white, could do a lot of damage here. In fact, he is going to trade one back. That's actually good for him, because he was basically dead. The fact that Hans gave him a kill makes it a worthwhile trade for Noah. In the long run, it's still technically worth more for G2. So I switched. There we go. So we watch it, it's just a straight dash forward. Knowing that Alistar doesn't have his free heal as well, he burns it, so you essentially know that you can make this trade without, like, any consequences of a champion healing up to protect. Also, I'm going back a bit because it's important to note this. The map positioning, we don't really talk terribly about it, but the fact that Caps forced the wave in mid, he's able to roam. So, we see here Razork is down here. Could look to obviously turn it around when the play happened, but the fact that we see Caps roaming, Fnatic fully aware of his position, means Razork backs away, lets Noah die. He gets a good trade, obviously, of kills between them. But it's still the fact G2 constant pressure mid allows them to make these sorts of plays, knowing that Humanoid cannot match. Obviously, Humanoid just TP'd back to lane at the same time as Caps, so they are probably fully aware of that timer. As we come back to live, it's an Emperor's Divide. Straight into 2. Good headbutt out from Trimby. Deny the Mickey knockup. However, Humanoid, he's unfortunate here. He just gets hit by a Sand Soldier under his tower. G2 Dive Squad ignores the support of Fnatic, who's roaming down. Hands is on his own, isolated in the bot lane. Razork's here as well. I think Fnatic were looking for a counterplay on the bottom side map as Mickey. Can be rooted up by the Twisted Events. Not gonna die, however, as Trimby chased down by Mickey, knocking him into the air. Glacial Augment gonna slow him down. And lovely Void Seeker from Hands just chunks out the cow. It's a simple description. It's just the fact G2 seem to be keeping Trimby's health bar below a half HP, and that's kind of a big sign of how this bot lane's gone. Realistically speaking, the fact that they're not necessarily focusing Noah with their damage, they're instead focusing the Alistar, it means that when Trimby tries to go in to respond to it, he's going to be already very low, and it's basically a death sentence in a straight up 2v2. Sure, he may get a knockup and Noah possibly could get a kill, but the fact that G2 constantly harassing the cow means he's not able to do as much as he intends to as mid. That's going to be Scatter Weak into Twisted Advance, just a wombo combo. Nature's Grasp roots up Caps, who dodges the... oh. He dodges the last orb and Yike bails out his mid laner. It's just G2 responding quicker than Fnatic. That's going to be Hero's Entrance coming out from Rakan. Ignite also burnt, but Hand, he's been ticked down. The Moonlight Vigil going to secure the first kill of the fight to Fnatic, and that is 2 kills over to Noah, getting some goal back into the game. And honestly, it's a lot more worthwhile than you think it is. Look at the KDA in the bot lane. It's the fact that there's been 3 kills in this entire bot lane itself for G2. The issue is, them kills have mainly gone to Mickey. Hands only got 1 of them, so his entire gold influx is about the same as what Noah has. The reason I was so jubilant about Noah trading even with Hansama meant that essentially this bot lane, relatively speaking, was even for Fnatic, and they had a lane of pressure to still go through. Now that Noah has just picked up 2 more kills, got himself a little bounty, this bot lane is now fully in favor of Fnatic, even though you wouldn't necessarily think that it was, considering the fact G2 have had constant pressure throughout the game crashing waves into the tower. So also the CSD is very similar. But top side, izlogic could go to try and steal the Herald. Instead, he's collapsing onto Broken Blade, catching him out, knocking him back with the Q. The Bramble Smash doing work. Broken Blade's actually going to die for this, and G2 lose their top laner in exchange for this Herald. Now it's a 4v5 on the map. G2 actually roamed up all 4 members. Hands is up here. He's actually going up to top side to catch the wave. This is smart from G2, because they know Broken Blade can go down to the bot side, TP down there, continue to maintain pressure. / he can play it safe if he needs to. He can stay back behind tower, as he knows that obviously Noah and Tribby going to return back down there, look to get themselves some turret plates. But yeah, G2 slightly ahead on tempo. Even if they've sacrificed the top laner, the Herald's going to be dropped here on the top side as Wunder getting caught out, locked in place, actually going to dash away to the tower. Nature's Grasp going to be thrown out, and the first kill of the fight goes over to Fnatic. They get a double kill as the Maokai and the Syndra are going to benefit from all of that. The gold is getting closer and closer as this game has gone on. G2 gets some nice turret plates. As Broken Blade going in all out, popped onto Noah. This is a fully stacked up Chakram Aphelios, but this Cassante do not care. He gets the solo bolo and shuts down the ADC on Fnatic's side. And that, my friends, is why Cassante is a Giga Chad. Just outplays the ADC, who's 3 kills up on him. Has a bounty, more damage in terms of itemization. It's insane how much a Cassante can do in any given situation. But still, the gold is very even. The issue is Broken Blade was left unanswered in that bot lane for a bit, and Wunder's forced to come down here to respond. Both top laners actually TP'd to the bot side of the map. And realistically, looking at the items, Gore Drinker up for Wunder versus a Jack Shao on Broken Blade. The damage diff, it's not that much difference, as Yike uses the Blast Cone to try and get into pit, getting knocked away from the wall, just jumps over with a crash down. Gets to stay alive. Dominus propped by Wunder's Renekton isn't going to result in any kill necessarily. But you think about that some of the spell's been used there. It was essentially an ulti burnt out of Fnatic for no reason, because it looked like basically they'd given up on the chase as bot side. Cassante getting close to having the all out once again, trading very aggressively into Wunder's Renekton. He still doesn't have flash. And Broken Blade is probably well aware that Summoner is on cooldown. So the escape tools available to Renekton very limited to just the slice and dice. He uses the slice there. Now Broken Blade can get aggressive with the all in. No escape tools for Wunder's Renekton. Just gonna die possibly here. Uses the Gore Drinker, but it isn't enough, and Wunder gets absolutely deleted. Broken Blade 2 solo bolos in this game as mid lane. Noah just gets caught isolated in the mid lane. Genuinely, this game was close until it wasn't. How does Noah get caught? He's just on his own. Trimby, I assume, took a back reset to get more wards so he can set up for the next Herald. But yeah, Noah on his own here in the mid lane, ignited. So Mickey's tanking tower. Doesn't really matter. He just jumps out regardless, and yeah, easy kill for the 3-man death squad at G2. And Fnatic, you can't really leave Noah in his own at the moment. even in mid lane, shallow lane, it's got the most flank positions on Summoner's Rift. So the fact that Fnatic thinking they can get away with positioning Noah on his own there really isn't the most ideal, as excuse me. Is that Hex Flash Rakan? It is. Bit of a weird one there. I know I commented earlier on Glacial Augment for Mickey's Rakan, but it's kind of surprising to see him have Hex Flash, because Rakans typically go for Guardian as their rune, or Glacial Augment's that sort of like third or secondary option for some Rakans. Some like to get Aftershock more than Glacial Augment. So it's a bit of a surprise to see that come through. Anyway, not too much to really talk about right now in terms of map pressure, but Razork actually getting aggressive in jungle, trying to steal away blue buff. In fact, he's going to get a nice steal here. It's such a strong combo having the Syndra as mid. He's on his own again. Noah forced to burn summoners again. Isolated in the mid lane. Big issue is there's a TP wall behind G2 who are going to be collapsed on here by Wonder and Humanoid. Two members coming in for Fnatic. The death ball that Fnatic have formed are grouping up. They're clutching together. It's red-white guns for Noah. That means fight if you're Fnatic, as Mickey targeted first, getting burnt down by the saplings. Fnatic not going to be able to pick up a kill here, as Wonder may have overstepped. He is actually going to fall, as in the bottom half, Broken Blade getting in on top of them, all out onto Razork, forcing the turn, as Cap's going to kill off Noah in the bottom side of the fight. It's actually going to be a 1-for-1 trade as the mid lanes kill off both ADCs, as Razork going to be trading on the other side as Cassandra gets the double kill. Now Humanoid being chased down by Caps, and Yike going to be locked up by the Q. Humanoid running for his life. The crashdown comes through from Yike, chunking away at that health bar, dropping him below a half HP. But that is a good scatter weak, gonna deny the advancement forward from the Rel. And G2 get away with what seemed to be a misposition as they went a bit too aggressive in the mid lane. And we watch this again. Hans is actually tanking a tower shot there, so Fnatic think, hey, we can go for this. But I like what G2 did here. Yike and Mickey both went in, denied Razork as well as Trimby, the two primary engaged champions for Fnatic, an avenue in onto Caps, and also, well no, onto Hansama mainly. That is the big thing. These two denied basically anything that Fnatic wanted to do to get onto Hans. The TB comes through, but Wonder's just not able to get in there. He can't slice or dice. There's not really a suitable target. I mean, yes, you could say Cassante is an alright target to go through, but it's not good enough if you want to get fully on top of the ADC, especially now that, well, Kaiser had just flashed to get some more room. But here's the big thing. Mickey's very low, Hans is very low, Noah is slightly lower, but he has a red gun to heal, and Trimby is alright health. Basically, Fnatic have a 5-man squad with more health, and I wouldn't say more damage, probably a lot less damage. But bottom half, Humanoid uses Scatter Weak there to deny Broken Blade entry on top of him. Then we just get the chase of all chases coming out from Razork, launches him into the backline, but we don't get to watch it fully. Let's actually just go back to watch it fully, because, you know, It's a big fight. So we're about here. Yeah, so in goes the Maokai, gets on top of the low health Rakan. But the thing is, watch what Razor does. He goes in, flashes forward, gets into the backline, gets a nice Q. Then he just gets stunned twice. So he can't really push the tempo that he just semi-gained for his team. So Caps kind of gets to walk away a little bit. Trimby goes in on top of him. But look at the targeting. Razor's going towards Yike. Wonder's also going towards Yike. They finally get Trimby. Trimby kind of says, hey, we caught out Caps. They go in, but it's way too late. Caps is able to flash. And now he gets to freely use his Sand Soldiers. Wonder's overstepped it. Like, the fact the rest of his team's walking away, he's still walking forward. He's just dead because Fnatic overchase. Bottom side, that Cassante that was pushed away, because of that, he gets a delayed sort of gank into the fight. He gets easy access to the backline. So he immediately targets out Razork, who he knows he needs to kill in order to get the Herald. Cabs just slices through. No, it's health bar. How does that even happen? Just slides straight through. Empress Divide into Yike stun. Yeah, it's just a clean double champ combo from G2. Bottom side, Syndra doing Syndra things, damaging out Fnatic, and then yeah, Razor dies to Broken Blade, pretty easy. Humanoid gets to walk away because he just plays. He knows how to use his Scattered Weeks very effectively. So we come out of that. G2 get top lane tier 1. I presume they get Herald as well. We'll come now at this replay pretty quickly. But yeah. Here we go. Replay over because Fnatic start up the Drake. Honestly, Drakes mean nothing in this series or game. That's a pick onto Yike. Scatter Weak denies his engage, but here comes Mickey. 3-man knock-up. Just denies any sort of play, but because guess what? Caps and Broken Blade get to tear away at the backline health bars. The issue is Fnatic, they caught out Caps. He's no longer there. And on the bottom side, Broken Blade just trying to do it all. He kills off Syndra. He kills off Maokai. He's chasing down Trimby. Will be able to get it. It's a triple kill. But Wonder, he's left alive. He's being chased down. Broken Blade wants it. And instead, he just retreats back to his mid lane. That was looking very, very dicey for G2. Because, let's be honest, they get caught here. Yike especially. Jumped on immediately by Trimby. The headbutt comes out to knock him back into his team. Noah, however, he's being jumped on by Broken Blade. And all out comes through from the top laner. Just absolutely deletes the health bar of the ADC. Now Broken Blade, he builds up his Q stacks. All out actually comes out there. I thought he'd already used it. But he gets it directly onto Humanoid. Isolates him from the fight. Then gets to just absolutely demolish them in like 1v1 fights basically is what Broken Blade's doing. He's just separating up Fnatic and just taking the easy peasy fights. Now we come back to live. Harold going to be secure for G2. That damaged the last fight. Wonder still did a lot for Fnatic, don't get me wrong, but Broken Blade had a lot more impact, especially considering how he took each stage of the fight. Coming back into live, Broken Blade is going to catch out Trimby once again. The support probably is going to fall if he stays around. He's going to force Broken Blade back in some regards and not continue his chase. Back to bot side. Cabs and Humanoid just going to be trading out pressure. And you know, G2, 20 minutes on the clock, could quite easily go for the Baron, as that is a great all-out sectioning Razork away from his team. Killer Instinct comes through, and the jungler for Fnatic forced to flash. G2 investing TPs here to try and get some pressure, to try and get themselves a pick on the jungler. Honestly, it wouldn't have surprised me there if G2 forced the Baron, force Wonder to TP, who, let's be honest, he's got a decent push here as he's got himself a tier 1 for his team. And now G2 gonna rotate back to the bid. They can clear out the vision. Keep Fnatic guessing. Should be the name of the game, let's be honest. Keep the pressure on. Deny them vision. And just get to play for the Baron. That's what G2 should be doing. They haven't needed Baron for some games this year, but I think this is one of those that they are going to be needing it. The goal difference isn't that massive. It's basically an item, which, yeah, don't get me wrong, an item is very big in terms of difference in damage, but still, Fnatic can pack a punch. You've got an item and a bit on this Aphelios, probably going to be close to his second item. You've got 2 items on most of your teams, but here comes G2 forcing the Baron. Mickey force the pop quickness, goes head first in, denying Razork any avenue into the fight, and G2 secure themselves that Baron. Scatterweak is good on to 3, but G2's follow-up is cleaner. 3-man Magnet Storm means it's demise and doom for Fnatic, who get absolutely deleted on the Rift. It's a 5-for-1, and G2 get the Baron. They've got Herald as well. They're just pushing. Wait, did Broken Blade secure the Herald? G2 must have summoned that already. That's going to be inhibited tower number 1 going to fall. Already cracking open the tier 2 in the top lane. The tier 3 in the bot lane's falling as well. We watch this again. Keep your eye on Yike. Simple as. Also keep your eye on Mickey. Smart thing here. Rakan positions himself in such an awkward position for Fnatic to deal with. Because that avenue there, you're getting trapped by the Rakan. So you have to walk like that, or like that mainly, to avoid the Rakan. If you're Razork, so he tries to. He doesn't get a Q knockback. And let's be honest, Fnatic are trying to knock back Rakan, so Razork can go for this flank, or get onto the Baron basically. He has no flash because Broken Blade burnt that earlier going all out. But yeah, look how far away Razork is due to the fact Mickey positioned himself so well. Its simple statement is the Baron contest from Fnatic was nigh on impossible. So the follow-up is Mickey goes onto Razork, just ensuring even further he couldn't get onto it. Gets charmed up, Killer Instinct out from Handsama. Looking to burn out the Maokai. Hans is forced to run away, and it's again, you think, okay, Fnatic could probably overchase this. Wonder also came down. They got 4 members here on G2's side. They're starting to clump up, but that scatter weak lands onto 2 very nicely. Surprised it didn't actually hit Caps. And Yike also playing very safe. Big issue is, though, that Magnet Storm Crashdown combo hits 4. Razor left to die. Wonder gets pulled back so his Q isn't as effective. Isn't going to hit multiple members. And, you know, wow. The all-out comes out from Broken Blade, pulling them in further into the Magnet Storm, not allowing any escape. That Emperor's Divide also kind of... yikes, to be honest. Caps isn't going to be able to sweep them all in. But Hands and Broken Blade just delete Noah from the fight. Isolate the ADC. We already know Broken Blade can solo Bolo or Felios. So, yeah, does that. Then we just get the easy cleanup of each member of Fnatic. Ain't able to deal with G2's womboist of combos. Now G2 push with Baron. This game's pretty much over. It looked clean. It's only a 10k gold lead, considering how the game has gone. So that is a testament to how good Fnatic are playing, I guess. And a bit, obviously, what I would call misplays out from G2 have kind of allowed Fnatic to be a bit more even in this game. So they're actually going to halt their push here, G2. Get the resets. Technically, they can get themselves an Ocean Drake. That stops the Soul Point. It prolongs Fnatic's opportunity to win. In some regard, if you count Soul as winning. Some people do. Some people don't, considering how weak some of the Drakes are. But, personally speaking, G2 gonna play it by numbers now. They could go very aggressive and just rush the push. But they're just gonna get third items onto the carries. Get themselves some more resistances. Get themselves the stopwatches they need. Hans has got his, so he's very safe in that regard. He's got himself his third item in the PD, not PB. And now the game starts to enter the climax. We know that G2 have firm control, and they're just going to continue to push forward. Top lane inhibitor is the only thing they haven't got yet. They need this to have constant pressure. Razor's going to drop Nature's Grasp, but yike, he's on the flank. That's a nice 4-man if he goes in. But he's staying away from his team because he knows that as soon as Fnatic step forward, go in, he's got a better opportunity of getting a decent ult. So he's playing a bit further away from his team and just trying to keep the pressure on. Like, make Fnatic play wary. That's a great scatter onto 3. Mickey stepping forward. That's a headbutt pulverize combo. And Broken Blade taken very low. The Moonlight Vigil will not kill him off. Neither will the Ignite. He's just going to go back to base. He's got TP up in 4 seconds. Fnatic, you're on the back foot here. You burnt quite a bit of utility. Ultimates are on cooldown, except for the Syndra. Scatterweed's huge onto Mickey. He's the first target, though, for Fnatic. Taking down the Rakan's health bar is huge. It means there's less chance of an engage, as a massive amount of damage from the Unleashed Power kills off Hans Sama. That's a huge shutdown, but G2, they're looking to continue to fight. That Scatter of the Week is huge, hitting onto all 4, but G2, they're still alive. They're still firing on full cylinders. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath as Caps gets an ace for his team. Broken Blade just played very, very well there. And G2 pick up Game 1 of the best of 5. We need to look at the fight. Let's be honest, we're not going to get a replay. So let's take this one slow and steady. Simply put here, Fnatic look to have won this play. You burst out Mickey. It means G2's engage is hugely scuppered. You've only got the Rel. So, Rel versus Alistar, if we isolate the matchup, Alistar is the counter pick to Rel. So Trimby can easily knock away Yike if he times it well. Means that G2's engage is 0. Rakan's dead, basically, on one hit. And G2 just have to cede pressure. However, Broken Blade TP's back in. G2 are looking to continue to pressure. They want this inhibitor tower. This is the crux of G2. If they played it by number, they would have backed up here. They would have disengaged, reset, played for the next Baron. It's in a minute 20, and then they go for the push and end the game that way. You're delaying the game by a few minutes, but you're not risking the L. You're playing it smart. The fact that there's a huge item disparity at this stage of the game, you can afford to give Fnatic a few minutes of eco from the Nexus minion, the super minions. Because bearing in mind, right now, they've got a wave crashing in here. This mid wave slowly pushing up as well. Fnatic are in a bad situation if they hang around here. So that's a reason for why G2 hover. But this is the big thing. Humanoid gets a nice W forward. If that didn't hit, he wouldn't have flashed forward and unleash powered. Down goes Hansama. G2's biggest gold leads are on Hansama and Broken Blade. Broken Blade, he's under the tower. He's getting greedy. He wants to kill this thing so that his team can go for a play. So Fnatic claps onto him. Humanoid's playing bouncer, trying to stop Caps from doing things. Same with Razork. But Humanoid's stunned up by Yike. And now G2 are kind of like, oh, we can kill him. The scatter weak is huge. Issue is, it's not enough damage. If Humanoid killed off Yike here, then, not Yike, Mickey here, G2's fight here would fail. The issue for Fnatic is Humanoid's killed off it by Broken Blade. Isolated in the 1v1, he has no stun. He's used his ultimate. Humanoid has no spells, essentially, to help G2. The fact that Mickey goes in and dies, he buys time for Yike's crashdown to do work. Yeah, both of them die. Actually, no, Yike's still alive. Yeah, Mickey dies. He still allows Caps to throw in the Sand Soldiers, chip away at the health bars, and then Broken Blade can come in from the side to clean up. It's clinical from G2 in a fight they really shouldn't have took. But Fnatic, over aggressive? Yeah. Humanoid playing way too far forward to just get a pick. Personally, I think Humanoid could have just stayed back, because he got the chunk out without having to flash. He W'd and got Hansama low. You didn't need to flash for it. I get that you want to get a shutdown, but you could have honestly have looked for a better fight later into the game. Because G2 would have been forced to delay the game. You could have probably Burger Toss Baron, have a few more items under your belt, thanks to the Super minions giving you extra gold. But no, you burger flip it, G2 call your bluff and kill you. Simple as that's game number 1. Done and dusted. Let's get into game 2, boys and girls. It's game 2. Now, personally, I don't remember game 2 as well as I do game 1. Because I watched this live when it happened. I'm actually going to remove my webcam for this one because I want to lay back and talk. Ugh. So, game 2. Sorry for noise. Fnatic go to blue. G2 on red. Rel going to be removed by G2. This is looking a lot like their bans normally on red side. So far, Ivan removed. I think G2 just have the same structured red side bans. No target bans. And Fnatic side, they've just removed the ADCs. Don't give anything big to G2. Now, personally, this is my take on blue side. If you're Fnatic, I would take the Kaiser here. Because, or the Maokai. I'd take the Kaiser or the Xayah. No, I'd take the Kaiser because what would you fall to if you're Hans Sama if that pick gets taken? Kog'Maw Braum? I get why you would do it, but the issue is Kaiser is a flex pick. Humanoid could play the Kaiser. You could essentially then do your own bot lane. You could honestly, if G2 don't lock in the Maokai, you could lock in the Braum and break the Kog'Maw combo. Essentially, Fnatic have all the chickens in their, or the eggs in their basket. And it's up to G2 to kind of play. I think that the Kaiser pickup here is more beneficial to Fnatic than picking up Mao. Because Jike isn't necessarily known as a Maokai player. Instead, Fnatic go Talia. I get why, because it's your own little flex. And G2 probably definitely have that in their pool of champs. I would have personally preferred the Kaiser lock-in. You get yourself a guaranteed ADC that's high in meta, that can be flexed. G2 then will either be forced into a lower tier ADC that they don't necessarily play. Here, honestly, I would have just done what I thought. I prefer my draft so far from compared to how Fnatic have gone about the attack. Kaiser would have been better than Talia. You could still flex and go into Talia, but Fnatic, you're giving up a power pick. G2 get themselves comfort. They get an AP jungler and AD mid. They've got the ability to go for a strong top side. I feel like we're going to be seeing ADCs / supports go into ban phase 2. I don't like that. Because I remember what happened. I remember this because I was talking during this draft and I thought G2 were just going to lock in Sivir. I knew it purely because it just made the most sense. But Syndra comes through for Fnatic. They've killed their flex. The simplest way to word it is they've killed their draft, basically. The issue I've noticed the teams give up their flex picks way too quickly. And it's unfortunate to say that, because let's be honest, flex picks make ban phases harder. The fact that this second rotation of bans, G2 don't have to worry about mid, they don't have to worry about jungle, because the flex has been killed. They really just need to worry about bot lane. In fact, both teams only need to ban bot laners. If Fnatic kept open the flexes, it would have meant that G2 probably would have only banned out a couple mid laners. Because what, there's a Zir left open. They probably would have banned that. I'm pretty sure they may have just banned what they've banned right now. But I think that having the flex open for Fnatic would have been more beneficial. Because, no, it just makes more sense to me to keep it open than closing it off due to the fact that G2 have shown not their mid and jungle. That's just me though. Anyway, Sivir gonna be banned by Fnatic. Actually makes sense. I remember I may be thinking of the previous series where I thought Sivir. Anywho, what is... It's a Kaiser. Don't even need to really say much more than it's Kaiser. The most logical pick into the Xayah. Yeah. Safe bot lane. Don't need to worry about either. It's kind of a snooze fest more than anything. We'll have to talk about supports here now. What is there? There is Leona, Thresh, I guess. There's not really any good supports other than maybe Rakan, which I think would be the response here from Fnatic. But then G2 on red side, so they just lot Lissandra last pick. It's the G2 special, Lissandra. It has to be. There you go. The combination is complete as G2 get themselves the gruesome combination of Kaiser Lissandra. That's a lot of lockup. A lot of pick potential that G2 have. And I think the issue for Fnatic is it's very hard for them to control areas with the Talia because of how G2 can control it a lot more quicker, a lot more effectively as well. Fnatic outdrafted themselves here. That's the easy way to word it, and it's unfortunate because teams are gonna learn how you play. And if they learn that your draft phase is so, I can't say bad, but is very predictable, and you close your options off very quickly, it makes it hard for you to beat these teams who can respond and beat you based on how you draft. Draft is basically what this game has evolved to. It's not what happens on the Rift. It's, do you get a good draft, yes or no? If you do, chances are you're winning the game. That's how League of Legends is played. And I think, based on this draft, Fnatic have kind of put themselves in a difficult situation where they're going to be on the back foot for most of the game. So, let's talk about starts, because we've done a lot of talk about draft so far. I expect stock standard draft starts from both team. G2, they've got Maokai, so it's basically last game's pathing, to be honest. Talia gonna start on her blue, more than likely. That's super sick cameras, by the way. There we go. Maokai probably start top half of the map, wrap his way down, and then go for a silly goofy gank. I'm trying to get comfy, by the way, guys. So I apologize for noise. I'm already seeing a bit of trade. There's Lissandra stepping forward into Trimby. He misses the dash forward, forced to flash early. Yikes. This bot lane's now very, very hard for Fnatic to play. Because now your support has no real, like, ability to engage without threatening its own life. Sad but true. And G2 can play quite aggressive down here now. So, with how Maokai is pathing, clearing all his top side, probably gonna go wrap around into the bot lane. Go for a turret dive. That's the expected play, but that's cleanse burnt already. Double knock up out from Trimby denies any more of the pressure G2 want to put down onto Noah. And so, Fnatic getting bullied heavily in the bot lane. Cab's playing this smart in the mid lane, hovering towards the top half of the river, towards where his jungler is. It means that Razork has no option for a play. Yike, actually stealing away this blue buff. And oh, it feels so bad. Talia just gonna be missing what Yike is doing. There goes the blue. And there goes Razork's health. It's clean. It's just a very well played maneuver by G2. They spotted him on the ward that was placed to kind of protect Jike. And because Broken Blade has the early push in top, it means that essentially he roams down into the jungle. Honestly, Razork should have been aware the Broken Blade was missing from lane as bot side. Trimby taken low. Gonna be killed off here. G2 get a kill, but it's gonna be traded back immediately. And Noah forced to run in some regards as he is very, very low. Has no potions. And Hans Sama should top his... get his health bar back up quite quick. Razork hovering. I'm knackered today. But G2, this top side, Undertow's gonna land, second one's gonna land, third one's not. Broken Blade begins his rundown assault onto Wonder, gets both his summoners out basically for free. And you know, that's huge because Wonder can't take it back here. He's not got his TP. If he does go back, he's gonna lose out heavily on a big stacked up wave. That's a lot of minions if he were to have backed. Instead, he's forced to clear them out. Just gonna try to keep himself relevant in this game. You kind of have to feel that he needs to play with a bit more safety. As bot side, Razork kind of got behind. Seismic Shove gonna be avoided. Hansama just stays alive. Clear out the wave as Mickey. Oh, Mickey, you so fine. You so fine. You're not gonna blow my mind, however. Just gonna hover around. Deny any river access for Razork. That's the big thing that we saw there. It means that no way into G2's jungle. It means that any river control firmly is in G2's hands. No chance for a gank either. And top side. Oh, top side. Because Wonder was chipped out very low. He decided to finally back once he killed the wave on the tower. Broken Blade's got the wave in a position where you can freeze it. And so, essentially, top side is doomed for Fnatic. Also, it's a tier map for Olaf. So, not going for this more gore drinkery, bruisery status to start the game. Going for a bit more lane wave clear. So he wants to kind of constantly pressure Wonder under his tower. Makes sense considering the early trades have gone in his favor. You kind of want to just keep Wonder pushed behind. The big thing that surprises me though is Wonder has a slight CS lead. Probably means BB missed out on a bit of CS. Even though he seems slightly ahead. Also, Wonder forced to go for stone plate, steel stoke, steel toe caps, or stone, whatever. New Ninja Tabby. That's the easy way for me to remember it. My brain is fried. Beyond belief, I don't remember item names. Steel toe caps. Anyway. Bot side, Yike is looking to go for a play of his own. Hiding away from that ward. The controller's not going to spot him as top side. Broken Blade getting aggressive into Wonder. Just trading health bars. As bot side, Yike is here. And G2 secured themselves a kill onto the Rakan. Razork down here as well. Not gonna get anything. But the collapse down. Caps is here. Forces the Weaver's Wall out from Razork. But in comes G2. Killer Instinct gonna secure the first kill over to this Kaiser. And she gets herself a second onto the Talia. G2 winning out in the bot lane. Top side is in their favor as well. Mid lane almost went in G2's favor as Caps gets a very favorable trade into Humanoid. This fighting across the rift early game, G2 are dominating. As we watch this again, Yike just covering his bot lane. As soon as Fnatic go aggressive, he was there, ready, waiting to punish. Lissandra stupidly got into Rakan. You just pop your W. You freeze him in place when Rakan tries to go forward. When he does, easy kill over to this Kaiser, and G2 just punish effectively, destroying any chances Fnatic had at getting a kill in that bot lane. And this is a huge change up. So game 1, we spoke about the Kaiser going Kraken Slayer and G2 playing a more AD orientated Kaiser pick. Game 2, Static Shiv, now building up towards the Nash's Tooth. And Sammer's going AP, baby. And who can blame him? You've got a lot of poke and harass that's AD from the mid lane already with the shot glass coming out from Jace. He also has the ability to bring the hammer down. It's a lot of damage that Kaiser could do herself, but the AP build is a lot more poke heavy. It's a lot more threatening from range, and let's be honest, the extra wave clear you get from Static Shiv is a lot more beneficial to G2 here. Because you look at the opposition here, Xayah, very strong and good at clearing out waves in comparison to the Kaiser, who can sometimes get punished very heavily, as we're looking at a possible flight. Shock Blast can be used, and also the speed gate comes through from Caps, looking to chase him down. Nature's Grasp is going to be thrown out as well, and on the bottom half of the fight, that's a Glacial Tomb locking Noah in place, ticking, burning down to the Unite. Hansam's going to get himself on a rampage, but Caps, he's looking to kill off this Rakan, instead turning his attention to this Talia, shooting her from range, killing her off, and Humanoid, he's being now forced into the fight, being chased down by Caps, forced to flash out on the bottom side though. Mickey gonna be killed off by Wonder, who's just slicing and dicing himself to safety, but here is Hans. He's unstoppable. He is bloodthirsty and gets himself a double, and G2 absolutely wiped the floor with Fnatic, acing them basically. And all along, as the fighting happened, Broken Blade stayed top and got himself a lot of gold. This is just chase down city for G2. Noah, isolated in the bot lane, forced to Featherstorm early as soon as he starts to see the channeling of the ultimate from Lissandra. In the end, Mickey's able to land that lockdown Desire as soon as he comes out of the Featherstorm. That means Hans gets an easy kill. This shock blast from range, clutch, good timing, almost got blocked by the minion wave. Then it's just Caps on the top side trading into Syndra, just fighting, pushing her away. Then, as soon as Humanoid steps way too far forward, he thinks he can trade into Caps, but as soon as the hammer form comes through, Caps gets the easy kill. And returning back to top lane, Olaf using the Ragnarok. He's bloodthirsty. He was left on his own in the top lane, and he's able to get the solo bolo. Now, more fighting can ensue as G2 coming through for this Drake fight. Caps diving forward, head first in, trying to get the Rakan. Instead, he's going to turn his attention to Talia, and Sama goes godlike as Lissandra uses a stopwatch. Gets pushed away. That shock blast does so much damage as Hans Sama, already legendary. He's killed them all 10 times over and is just bullying Fnatic across the rift. Featherstorm also forced out. It's Mickey. Glacial Path gets himself on top of Noah and gets himself technically a solo bolo. But he is locked up in place by Talia. Gonna shut down the G2 support. This game, the tempo past 10 minutes has just turned up to 100. G2 constantly applying pressure on the map. They've secured themselves a mid lane tier 1. This play, G2 looking to punish wherever they can. Noah gets pushed out away by Cavs, means he's not able to contribute in the fight. That means that both the bot lane of Fnatic are forced to run away. Razork isolated himself in the pit. He's forced to die. And G2 then just send a chase down squad. Such a easy sort of fight for them, because they forced Fnatic into a retreat. Very quickly, very easily, and Fnatic kind of realized that G2 are way too far forward on that front foot. Especially when you look at the build that Hans has. 2 items complete already. He's 3k up on his opponent. And, oh, Broken Blade. Going aggressive already. He's spotted out the Talia. 1 and 2 undertows have landed. Realizes he may have bitten off more than he can chew as more members of Fnatic collapse in. So he's forced to retreat back to safety. Mickey getting jumped on by Noah. Noah doesn't land the Blade Caller. Instead, forced to run back himself. As Broken Blade, he's still continuing to pressure Razork. That Scatter Weak is huge. The Glacial Path keeps Mickey in safe. It puts him in safety. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade though. As that's just so much damage coming out from the Syndra. Means Mickey dies. And as Trimby tries to secure himself the lock up onto the Lissandra, he gets punished by G2. Back to fighting, I guess. TP coming in from behind as Fnatic looking to secure themselves a kill onto Caps. Great Q out from the Maokai. Bramble smashing Razork back. But in the end, Caps falls, gets shut down by the Syndra. But G2, they trade Caps' life. They're looking to pressure in the top lane. They're looking to pressure in the mid lane. It looks like they're getting 2 tier 2 towers for Caps' life. That, my friends, is what we call worth. Oh god, Fnatic. This is the issue that we've seen in many G2 games. As good night, Sweet Prince, Trimby. Gone but not forgotten. G2 play at such a tempo when they're ahead. They are able to sacrifice a player and get 5 or 6 things off of it. Because what we just saw there was Caps jumped on, collapsed on by Fnatic, who invest a TP, they invest ultimates, all to secure a kill onto a fed Jace, get themselves a shutdown. While that's happening, you're giving up pressure on the other side of the map. So G2 are able to force onto 2 lanes. They use Hans' strength right now because he's legendary and has so much damage. He's 2 items up on his lane opponent. They use Broken Blade's advantage. He's up an item. And he just gets himself the tier 1 in the top lane. Now Fnatic are in a situation, well, okay, we can force them play bot side. But, no. Oh, I yawned and Humanoid's dead. Essentially, because G2 then claps kill off Trimby, they get themselves the chance to go towards Herald, and now this awkward situation where Hans has upgraded W, he's got himself some AP and burn from the Leandries, he's just able to chuck out these Ws on cooldown, not have to really deal with the consequences of it, because he's so far away. And this is possibly the fight for Fnatic. Another Q from the Maokai tries to deny the engage. In fact, it does a lot of work here as G2 just absolutely delete the 2 members of Fnatic in the spot lane. That looked like a disjointed fight, all things considered. And G2 continuing to apply pressure. Wonder is staying around top side. Look to get himself that tier 2. Mickey is going to actually fall. Caps is stuck in the base of Fnatic, getting jumped on by the Rakan. He's ticking, but not going to fall. Instead, it looks like Fnatic going to absolutely die as Fnatic somehow survive, actually. G2 looks like they may have overstayed here. The Drake was secured. They're on Soul Point, but Wonder scores for his team 2 towers. That's some gold back into the back pockets of Fnatic. That's some semblance of a pressure point on the map that they can ascertain. The issue is, G2 still have Herald. G2 are sitting comfortably on Soul Point for the next 5 minutes. And Baron's on the table in 3 seconds. Fnatic have very little pressure on the map, other than top lane, which they've just seeded. And with Herald dropped in the bot lane, there's that looming pressure G2 have of a Herald crashing into that inhibitor. So Fnatic kind of now playing on a timer. G2 know this, so they're just going to buy time. Push in the mid lane. Threaten the Baron constantly. Let's be honest, they need to clear out this vision though if you're G2. The Herald's killing off the wave. And here we go. Turn to the Baron. This is G2 playing smart. Force Fnatic to come into the river. Force them to check. forced them to get deleted. Their health bars is falling lower and lower. Trimby nearly going to be killed off here. Void Seekers just are doing a lot of work. Mickey got himself a flank. Can get on top of Fnatic if he needs to. But guess what? Herald's going to be crashing into Fnatic's base. G2 get to turn to the Baron. Just playing from an advantageous position is so good from G2. They use the Herald pressure to get themselves control around the Baron pit. To get themselves the Baron. Fnatic can't respond. And thus, the sequential demise of Fnatic's game. TP's coming through. G2 pushing in the top lane. Using that very, very strong poke that they've got for themselves. That's a big scatter weak onto Mickey. But it's not going to result in much. G2 can play a lot further back in this game compared to last. They can just use the poke and harass. Use the Baron to just continue to keep minions very healthy. Oh, that static shiv as well does work for hands. Nature's Grass can be thrown out. Scatter weak dodged by G2. The W's land. Trimby locked up, rooted in place and killed off by Broken Blade. The Weaver's Wall going to be used. Not going to be able to do much with it, however. But G2 get caught out. Broken Blade gonna fall. Issue is, though, Noah forced to run back to base. Getting chunked out heavily by G2. Inhibitor doomed to fall. You have to feel Scatter Weak dodged out as well. Another W lands as Razor chunked below half HP. He's forced back to the fountain. G2 constantly forcing 3v4s. That massive shock blast chunks out Humanoid. Fnatic cannot stand anywhere near G2 as this poke is horrendous and just deletes the health bars. Simply put, G2 go a bit too aggressive here, trading 1-for-1. But they get a lot of damage down onto Trimby. Kill him off. No more engage options for Fnatic. Weaver's Wall was horrible. But that's a great seismic shove, to be honest. Means Broken Blade gets killed off. And shut down. As the damage and the poke from G2 is so much. Rakan caught out here. Being shot to pieces already below half HP. As that's going to be the Frozen Tomb. Dropped onto Razork. As Hansama still is legendary. Shock Blast lands, Humanoid chunked out and run down by the Olaf. Next it's Rakan to fall and Fnatic, your doom is here. G2 are absolutely deleting the health bars as the Jason Olaf kill squad chases you down. Olaf gonna pick up the last kill and you have to feel wonder. He's doomed to fall. Yike is chasing. The sapling spotting. Slowing, keeping Wonder at bay, forced to slice to safety, but here comes Caps. He's not letting his former teammate get away. Shock Blast lands, Hammer of Dawn lands. He's bringing the damage down. He's just denying any escape for Wonder, not allowing him any form of play towards this G2 push. Another W out from the Kaiser land, make it another. Inhibitor in the mid lane falls. That is damage coming out. Killer Instinct used by hands. W dodged out finally by Fnatic. But G2 get the triple inhib, getting themselves this one Nexus turret as their main target. Nature's Grass thrown out. How does Kaiser miss a rooted target with a W? And Mickey falls. G2 falling. Hansama shut down. In the end, G2 almost lose the fight, but they focus the Nexus, getting themselves their second win, and on to match point they go. On to match point they go. And now we get to go to GOL, talk about game number 3 and 4. Because my throat is starting to hurt after what could be described as a very back and forth series once we enter Game 3. Game 3 is surprisingly very close. And let's just go into pick ban. Game 3, draft. G2 probably still are on red. We'll look at it from here. G2 are on blue. Wow, surprising. Fnatic give up blue side. And I think there's a big reason why. G2, I think, returned to their Game 1 bans. Fnatic stayed the same in terms of their bans as well. So, the surprising thing is, Maokai, they actually, G2, lose the Kaiser. Finally, Fnatic do something smart and take the Kaiser. They should have done it in the last game. Let's be honest. It was so impactful for Hansama. And the fact that it took them 2 full games of Hansama dominance on the pick for them to finally go for it themselves. Very surprising in my opinion that it went that far. As for the rest of the picks, stock standard to be honest. Mickey actually switches from the Glacial Augment to Guardian in this game. That's a bit of a change up that I like. Hands on a Sivir, not really had the same impact as the Kaiser. I think that's the big talking point about Game 3. Timeline wise, that's Kaiser. Yeah, it's a Kaiser diff. Yeah. Once you get to late game, Noah left untapped. He didn't really contribute in kills. Like, it didn't look like it. He got shutdowns. Like, the big kills, I guess. And then turrets. He focused the push. More than anything, he gets the big shutdowns. I think was a big reason why Fnatic won. Shutdowns. G2 got a little bit of a advantage in lane. Then just killed off. Clean play, I think, if I look at the summary real quick. Yeah. G2 dominated turret plates and had a lead for quite a bit of the game. They just seemed to slip, give shutdowns over to Fnatic. As yeah, Caps did a lot of work. I think that's a big thing to note is, wow, Caps did work for G2. Just the rest of the map really didn't have the same impact. Broken Blade got punished heavily. And it wasn't until about 25 minutes where Fnatic had firm control of the game. That's the simple way to word this one. Just Fnatic had the better draft and got ahead due to Noah being able to get the necessary kills. Simple way to word Game 3. Game 4, however, I can word this quite easily. Stomp. Consta gold advantage by G2. Consta objective control for past 9 minutes. Turret plates galore. Nothing changed from Game 3 in that regard. And top, I was going to say big top diff. The big diff is mid and ADC for G2. Caps 10-0. Hansama 8-1-6 on his signature Draven. How he managed to get his hands on that in this series. Fnatic basically dropped the Draven ban for a Maokai ban. Because they knew how powerful this pick was. They've realized well, we can let that go through. Now, this is my mind working. Presumably G2 first pick Rel. Now that there's no real counter pick for it. See, I would have thought Razor could play the Rel. Or Trimby. And have that flex. Fnatic did not really let G2 have the Maokai. I don't think Maokai is a Yike pick. Like, if we look at Yike this year, he's probably got minimalistic plays on the pick. 3 games in season finals. All time. Season 13. Okay, he's got a lot of Maokai games. But it's the most consistent pick across the year. I really still don't think he's a Maokai player, but I'm very wrong. Anyway. Essentially, game 4, just dominance from G2. It just seemed doomed from minute 1 and 2 for Fnatic. Is you're trading kills bot side, but bot just continued to grow. Caps actually was able to do work. That graph is, or this chart is just constantly blue. Fnatic really weren't able to do much in this game, and G2 just pushed them and beat them to a pulp. Simple as Caps did work. Certainly stepped up heavily for his team. And the fact that I'm pretty sure he barely finished less gold than Hands. Them two just went like, screw it, we're just going to dominate the game. And do work. This game looked very, very brutal. Very, very dominant from G2. And with that, I guess we can finally round out the LEC split and the year. All that's left is the Worlds and the Worlds qualifying series, which we'll be covering in October. It's so far away. So, there's the issue for me. What's going to be happening until then? Well, firstly, I've got to get my graphics ready and my knowledge bank of the the LEC's competition at Worlds. I'm ready for that. Also, Asia Games, gonna be looking at them. See how the teams on a very, very early patch of this season face off against one another. It's so insane how it's literally 13-12. And, the LEC season finals is on 13-15, so 3 patches ahead. Regardless, I'm done for today. Thanks for joining me if you've enjoyed it. I'll see you guys whenever. I may do some streams of different games up until prediction time again. Who knows? Or you may be just seeing me next time when we get predictions. I'll probably do some pack openers actually.